Right, hello lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Underwear. Today, no real news to talk about whatsoever, so we are going to focus in on one key player, Osaze Urhoghide. I think that's the first time I've ever pronounced his last name right, so this should be a good video. Before we go any further, if you guys are enjoying the off-season content and you want to help support the channel, the best way to do so, click that like button, click that subscribe button. 3 subscribers away from 3,200, so that's pretty cool. But without further ado, let's get into it. Last season, right, let's take us back on a trip down memory lane. Last season, the first signing that was made after Ange's arrival was Osaze Urhoghide. He arrived from Sheffield Wednesday, known to be a centre-back and right-back. Now, he got a couple opportunities in pre-season, but Anthony Ralston, for the meantime, was our starting right-back. And then Josip Juranovic came in. He sort of took over the reins as the best right-back at the club. Ralston became the understudy, and then Osaze didn't see a minute of action for Celtic until the dead rubber game against Real Betis. Now, I wouldn't say he shone that night, but he did show glimpses of his raw talent and ability, and we all saw it. He was very, very powerful, very strong in tackles. He wasn't going to shy away from a one-on-one. He wasn't going to shy away from a player running at him, but just overall, he had so much raw talent there, but it wasn't refined and it wasn't polished, right? And I think that's why he wasn't getting looked at all by, Ange or any of the coaching staff. And he saw a lot of minutes in the B team, but nothing else in the first team. Then come the January transfer window, he was loaned out to Oostende with an option to buy in Belgium. Now, he made only 7 appearances for the Belgian club. They didn't activate the buyout clause, and he returned to Glasgow, where we sort of get to now in pre-season, where he's been working hard. Now, we see in the training videos that Celtic upload unfiltered at Lennoxtown, and we also can see, if you go to his YouTube channel, you can see he's been putting in a lot of effort. He's been posting a bunch of videos of him training and whatnot, doing personal workouts. And it's good to see that he's working hard, right? And as expected, in the first game of preseason, he got the full 90 minutes, right? I think he was going to get at least 45, but he got the full 90. Against Vina Victoria, hardly a real challenge for any of the players on the pitch, right? But we really couldn't make any judgment on any of the players in that match. But then in the build-up to the Rapid Vienna game, we got the news that Josip Juranovic was facing injury and was going to miss the match. So it was expected it was going to be Osaze and Ralston 45 minutes each. Now, we get to an hour beforehand, the lineup comes out, it's Osaze starting, that's fine, I check the subs. Where's Ralston? He isn't there, right? So that's a bit odd, and he ends up playing the full 90 minutes, the only player to do so in that match, for Celtic, I might add. And the only player to play 180 minutes of the 180 minutes on offer so far in preseason. Now that shows a lot of mental strength, being able to play that much after such a long absence from football and only a week of training, right? The first 2 games back, the 4 minutes, right? And it hasn't gone unrecognized by the support or by Ange. He commended the young defender when speaking to the Glasgow Times, saying, "Credit to Osaze. He played 90 minutes on Wednesday and 90 minutes today. The one thing about him is he is a warrior. He works hard. We had him penciled in for 90 minutes today. He got through it." So Ange recognizes that. He recognizes it, that his hard work has been put in, and he calls him a warrior. And he was, right? In that second game against Rapid Vienna, the game, it was pretty open. I was surprised at how open it was. Personally, right? A lot of loss of possession, very back and forth. The midfield really didn't see much of the ball ever. And as the game got on, you could see he was completely buggered by the 70th minute, He had nothing left in the tank. He was running on fumes, right? But he didn't stop trying. And I thought, you know what? I was watching him play and was like, he's making mistakes now. Like, this is the final 20 minutes, but you got to remember he's played 160 minutes up until now in the space of 4 days, and he's only had a week's training prior to that, right? He's playing in one of the most physically draining positions in Ange's system, in the fullback spot, right? So I could understand, sloppy touches, sloppy passes, when he was chasing down defenders, you know, he was not as quick as he was earlier in the match, right? He was absolutely buggered, and you couldn't blame him, you know. It was a complete... He must have probably passed out or threw up after the game. That would have been so tolling on his body. And the great thing is, though, Ange loves nothing more than a hard worker. Unfortunately, though, for Osaze, still speaking to the Glasgow Times, Ange provided an injury update on Josip Juranovic and Anthony Ralston. He said, Tony got a knock on Friday and just wasn't 100% for the match, so we erred on the side of caution. He should be fine for Wednesday. Josip is fine. He trained fully on Saturday morning, but he missed the first part of the week, so we are trying to get all the guys into a program where they do a bit of work before we expose them to game time. So what does this mean for Osaze's minutes, right, in the rest of preseason? I still believe we will see him get at least 45 minutes of action against Banik Ostrava, right? However, that's certainly less than the 90 minutes, he's been getting recently. Now, if Josip Juranovic and Tony don't recover, well, then he's going to be playing a full another 90 minutes, 270 minutes of football. I don't see that happening, though. But let's look at the future, right? Let's go a bit further into the future now. Because what does it mean for Osaze's season, right? Look, I'm just going to come out and say it, you know. I think the best move for him is a loan move away from Celtic, right? I just don't see how he gets any game time at all with both Ralston and Juranovic fit and available, right? And even last season when he was out on loan and Juranovic was injured and Tony Ralston had to go off, Stephen Welsh filled the void, right? And clearly, though, as we saw, Stephen Welsh isn't a right back. He is best suited to the centre-back spot. Very natural there. And this isn't about Welsh, though, sorry. It's about Osaze. Now, I do believe strongly that a loan move suits all parties, right? Firstly, he will get so much more game time going off to a club where he can start week in, week out, whether that be at wing or at wing back. I think probably if Ange sees his future as a fullback, I think it'd best send him off to a club that would utilise him there. Secondly, he's here on a 4-year deal, right? So he still has 2 years left on his contract following the conclusion of the upcoming season, which is crucial, right? Because he has this whole season to impress on loan and then another 2 pre-seasons to prove to Ange that he deserves to be part of the squad and part of the match day squad as well, right? You know, and anything can happen on loan, you know. He could go out there and shine, right? He could go turn, you know, like Jack Hendry did, right, at Oostende. You know, but also there could be player movements, you know, there could be stuff that happens within the team that requires him to come back in and fill a gap. Who knows, right? But the verdict for me overall is that in the upcoming season, if Osaze Urhoghide wants game time, I don't think it will be at Celtic. That's the harsh reality of it. However, whether he has a future at Celtic, it is possible because at the end of the day, right, hard work and determination are the best 2 traits to have as a footballer. You know, those who put in the effort will reap the rewards, suffice to their efforts. And at the end of the day, if he keeps putting in efforts like that, you know, and giving it his 150% every single time he goes on the pitch, he will not only will that go recognised, he will also improve as a footballer and hopefully reach the potential, I guess, that the club saw in him when they brought him over. I'm actually not too sure of his age. I believe he is 22 right now, I think, maybe 21 still, but he has leaps and bounds of his football career to go, so he's got ages. And for time at Celtic, he's got ages as well, so he doesn't need to rush into anything. But yeah, for me, I think a loan move suits him best. But that is all from me. So if you guys did enjoy the video and you want to help support the channel, best way to do so, click that like button, click that subscribe button, leave in the comments below your thoughts on Osaze Urhoghide and his future at Celtic, I guess. But until next time, hail, hail.